we did an ep with Norm a couple weeks ago. And it was like we were just kind of, going back into his life a lot, but we were talking a lot about those experiences and those teams and just like, he basically was like, I needed some time in retrospect to like appreciate the sort of specialness of the group and thinking about, you win a championship in the NBA. It's like, it's going to be a thing that you're going to have for the rest of your life. So even thinking about like that season in particular, were there moments that like you look back on now, besides the obvious, like Game 6 and everything like that, moments you look back on now that you feel like were sort of your favorites that, maybe at the time you just, kind of floated by because you were like living in them?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it was probably a lot of things, like, to be honest, like just for us, like, for me personally, it was like, I mean, Game 1 of the finals was insane. Like, I mean, I think that game, I didn't really like think of it, right? Like, I'm just in it and I'm just really playing and like, I'm not really getting that. And then like, I think it was one of those moments that I watched back and I'm like, oh my God, like that was incredible. Like this was really the NBA finals. You know what I mean? Like,
and just balling out in the finals.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, like and I didn't really think about it. Like, and I think for me, like, it was probably a little like, probably being a little arrogant, like as like, being in like the third year and like winning a championship. Like, I'm thinking like, oh, we're gonna do this again. Like,
yeah,
like, yo, like we going right back. Like, our team is so talented. We got so many good players. So I enjoyed it and I celebrated, but it was like, it wasn't to the level that I feel like I should, like, after going all the experiences that I've gone through after that, like in the bubble and like being in losing situations and like, you don't really get to, like, I really appreciate it now because like those moments, like even for us, like the bench mob, like being with a group of guys that we just go out there and hoop, bro. Like, have fun, enjoy. We actually like each other. Like seems simple, but that don't happen a lot. You know what I mean? I think that you take it for granted when you're like in the situation, like, and then when you look back and you're like, oh my God, like that was pretty cool. Like the most fun I ever had playing basketball. Like for me, it was just like, man, like this is amazing. Like I like these guys. We're playing together. Like we're just hooping. You know what I mean? Like, so I think you can take that for granted for sure. Like for me, at those moments when I look back, I'm like, man, like those are pretty cool.
It's crazy looking back also, and Norm and I were talking about this, just the level of talent on the team. I mean, he's a perfect example of that.
We were talking about that.
Just everyone talks about you, everyone talks about Kawhi, but you go up and down that roster, it's like, what's happened with Fred? What's happened with OG? What's happened? Like,
it's crazy, bro.
It's crazy. Like,
it's nuts. Like, I'm telling you, I've been thinking about, I'm like, man, like we had a squad. Like, you go down the line, like, and one of the games that I always like to watch back, like in that run, it was like when we played Milwaukee. Even the Sixers, when we played the Sixers, it was crazy. But like the Milwaukee series, like I'm watching some of the clips, and I'm like, damn, like you go over here, you switch, it's Kawhi, and then you set the screen, it's me, and then you set the screen, it's Freddie, and like Mark, and then it's Serge. Like, it's like, bro, like the defense was crazy, bro. And like we were just. And I think like with Nick and stuff, like he would like, because he was so like, he would just come and do things that people don't usually do. And he would come in and like, he would just come one day and just introduce something like the day before the game. And we would do it during the game. You know what I mean? Like just little things like that was like, I never really seen like helping strong side corner and like, most coaches always told me like, nah, you're not supposed to do that. Like we did like strong side, somebody drives, just switch, you know what I mean? Like we did a lot of things that a lot of people didn't do back then, and I think it was just like credit to the guys, and we have a lot of smart guys. Like when you like Kyle, like Fred, like you know what I mean? And then like Kawhi. It
was a crazy mix. It was
it's insane.
Yeah. I wonder, I'm thinking about, and I never even really thought about this. I'm sure you guys have thought about it a lot because it's, you lived it. But like when we're talking about like Americans underestimating, there's a part of me, even though this is an NBA team and it's an NBA team with guys who've been established stars in other places and things like that. So it's not like it's a bunch of rookies and second year guys. I feel like remembering that series, even thinking, I went to a lot of the Philly games. JJ was in that Philly team. I go to a lot of those games. That was a crazy series. Obviously the end of it was insane. But I don't think the casual fan probably understood the depth of talent that was on that team. And even in that Warriors series, injuries aside and everything like that, that's a close series if those guys are all healthy. Yeah. It's not like they're winning that series definitely. Because they all and then they all got hurt and they didn't.
Because even the regular season, like we had like our games against them was like tough. Like we, you know what I mean? Like, and I mean, if I want to look back, like we beat them like during the year. Like, so it was like we had like we were like obviously there was so talented. I mean, we look at their roster, you know what I mean? Like, but I just thought that, you know, the way we played and like the guys that we had also, like we just believed in that, you know what I mean? And we played like great ball, bro. Like we defended, like we did all the right things. And then we had somebody like Kawhi that can just like go like crazy, like just go to another level.
Just
like
sicko
mode. Like we can play, we can all get to this level and play. And then at one point he can just like he can just take it somewhere else.
Do you buy the JJ said this during that series? A couple of people I think have said this, even, you know, with him in LA too, that there are points, and the comparison thing is, you know, whatever, but there are points with Kawhi where it's like he actually looks like Jordan. Like the way he plays.
I think for me, there was a point where he looked like nobody can stop him. Like he could just do whatever he wants. Like, I mean, that's how I would say. Like, I mean, there was points where it's like, bro, like you just give him the ball, like, and he's just gonna get to one spot. Yeah, and then like the result is gonna be 90%, bro. Like,
and you know what you could do about it.
And he's so big.
Like he's so strong dude. Like, bro, I'm telling you, like there was nothing you could do about it. Like he would just get to wherever, and then like because I think it's like his handle was tight, like the three was there, like, and then he would like go and dunk on you too. Like he was healthy. Like it was like, bro, like yeah.
I was thinking about what you were saying about both sort of appreciating the guys at the point, but then also the sort of leadership you've brought to this particular group. When you look back, you know, you look back at the championship experience, you look back at the success you guys have had. Team breaks up, but that's sports. Yep. You know, things happen in sports. What are the lessons you draw from that you sort of instill in this group? Because before, and we'll get to last year, but before last year, this was a team that hadn't had as much success playing deep in May, you know, and maybe early in June.
No, I think for me, like with our team, like that Raptors team, and one of the things that like the coaching staff and everyone was always preaching was like we had like, you know, even on the board, we had everywhere is like April, May, and June. Like that was playoff time, like, you know, that end of the year, going to the playoffs, like this is where we want to be our best. Like this is where we want to play the best basketball. And I think one thing that I learned from that was like, yeah, like there was times that during the season it was like ups and downs or whatever, but you know, coach always like even the team just focused on like in April, May, and June, you want to be your best. And I think like that's what for me I try to get to the guys. It's like, all right, like we got to be consistent, we got to work hard and do everything we got to do, but just know that we got to peak at the right time. Like that's what it is about winning the championship. Like, because you see people that have like amazing starts of the season, and then like, you know, after All-Star break, it start getting a little shaky, you know. And I think that like as long as, you know, consistently you just improve and peak in April, May, and June, like that's when you know, because those are the times where you win. You know what I mean? Like, and I think like that's something that I try to like tell the guys and trying to focus on and understand that it's going to be ups and downs, but as long as we play at the same level coming this time, like we're gonna give ourselves the best chance to win.